the Hell British Motostar Championship. 2 classes within the race. We have the standard, we have the Grand Prix class. We have not had a race so far this season, so Neil Mackenzie, this is the first opportunity for all these talented youngsters to earn some points.
And in some ways I'm glad, because Donington weather wasn't brilliant. These guys are all keen, they want to get out there, they will commit in the first lap, so it's so nice we've got proper British summertime weather. They'll get a couple of warm-up laps, so tyres are nice and warm, and they can commit from the first lap at the first corner. But it's so good to see these guys out in a good full grid. Lots of youngsters out there, some with more experience than others, and of course a field full up of the British Talent Cup riders as well. The Dorna sponsored funded initiative that hopefully will take some of these young stars to bigger things. So great field there at Brands Hatch, and in some ways this Brands Hatch Indy circuit, they're just perfect track for the Moto3 and standard class machines.
Absolutely, it's all about corner speed, and there's a man who had brilliant corner speed. Jack Scott, 4th in the championship last year. He's their pole position with Jake Archer. These two have really laid the standard. Ed Rendell, a favourite in this class, completing the front row. From young Asher Durham, lovely lad, by his own admission, mixed race boy. He wants to be the Lewis Hamilton of 2 wheels. Well, we wish him luck. Storm Stacey, another young man we've seen, and Elliot Lodge. All these guys are so quick and yet unbelievably so young. Brandon Pash, the American, on the Mahindra there. Liam Dells on the DR motor, the Dean Reynolds bike. He's going to be good as well, getting quicker and quicker. Eugene McManus, famous son of a famous father. Taz Taylor, Ed Best, and Chris Taylor, formerly from the KTM Cup, riding number 97. So these guys then, and young ladies, because we've got 3 or 4 young ladies, sadly without Charlie Pinfold now, having pushed her bike off the grid. Such a disappointment. A long way to come from Australia not to even make the start. But as you said, Neil, this sort of going, perfect, this sort of circuit, high corner speed, that's what it's all about. It's
great, yeah, it's all about rolling momentum. You've got to ride hard, but looks number 6, Taz Taylor. Looks like he's starting to the pit lane. Must have had a problem on the grid. You can see that machine under there. It's a blower. It's keeping that machine cool, because that will get hot when it's standing still. But he'll be good to go as soon as these guys get past the pit lane on the first lap.
Here we go then. Look at the pole position man. That was Scott. There he is, Jack Scott, number 55. There was a little bit of weaving there, but number 55, Jack Scott, who earlier on had a little bit of a problem on the grid. So we've got one non-starter just pushing the way off the grid. But Jack Scott then having a cracking start. I can see the green and yellow bike of the Fireplace Warehouse team. Jack Scott leading now. Going with him then, it's Jake Archer, number 2. And Annabelle Thomas was another one of the competitors who didn't get off the grid. So 2 of the young ladies by the wayside now. Ed Rendell going in 3rd place. Asher Durham got an absolute cracker as well. So let's pick them up on lap 1. Neil, what a huge, huge grid, and everybody riding so professionally. It could have been easy to get it wrong on lap 1.
Definitely, but so important to get a start, as you can see, because things soon get strung out. And of course, Jack Scott there getting a perfect start on the RS machine. Brian Saxby prepared machine, a full-blown Moto3 machine, and you will see these. They've got around 10 horsepower more than the little NSF Hondas, the standard class Hondas, so they will drag away at the front. It's a great experience for these guys. Ryan Saxby's man, Tom Booth Amos, streaked away with the championship last year, and he is on to much bigger things in the Junior World Championship now. So it's a real good platform for these young riders. Ryan Sachs will be involved in this championship for such a long time, turning out some cracking machinery and a lot of champions.
Storm Stacey on the green and yellow bike there in 4th place, the number 79. Oh, he's just been scythed underneath, right underneath him went Jake Archer. Jake Archer, number 2, dived underneath. Storm Stacey, a little wave of the hand from Jake Archer to say, sorry mate, but I needed to come through. There he is, the red number 2 bike. Jake Archer started on the front row. Ed Rendell on the all-yellow bike, the man from Chelmsford, riding number 12. He is there in 2nd place. And right with him, number 64, Asher Durham from Derby on the Cresswell Mahindra. Mahindra, of course, the Indian brand that Danny Webb took into Grand Prix. One of those Mahindra bikes out there in the hands pictures of Chris Taylor is actually the 2016 GP bike.
Really well. It's great to see John Cresswell is the man that runs these ex-Grand Prix machines, the Mahindras, so great to see that they've got an afterlife in the British Championship. Storm Stacey there at the back on the yellow and green fireplace warehouse machine. He won't mind a bit of badger because he's certainly keen to dish it out. He's appeared in the paddock a few years ago, the youngest rider ever to win the British Championship race in the standard class at Silverstone, I believe. So great to see Storm out there. He's another member of the British Talent Cup, so he's got a great season ahead of him.
Chris Taylor, you can see, and it is absolutely fantastic. Storm Staley from Eckersall in Staffordshire running very wide. The green and yellow bike. The Fireplace Warehouse Racing, FPW Racing, the green and yellow bike. Out in front. Asher Durham is leading this. Asher Durham, number 64, is leading this, but right with him now is going Jake Archer. Jake Archer might just have nipped through. No, it's still Asher Durham. Asher Durham, then the young, he's very, very diminutive. When I first saw him in the paddock, I thought, surely this little boy can't be racing. Tiny, tiny young man, but now 19 years of age.
He's still a perfect size. He was too tiny back then, but the family and Asher and everyone, they've just been relentless. They keep coming back. I think they've remortgaged everything to make things happen, keep coming back because they're determined, and they've proved that he is a talent, because suddenly he's making his way up the grid. Suddenly he's becoming a big talent in this paddock, and I'm sure he'll get there. Ed Rendell there, number 12, he's and as people get fed up hearing that he's heavier than the other guys, not because he's overweight, he's just the size he is, so he's always at a disadvantage, but he keeps coming back and competing, keeps running at the front. When things go his way, he can win, and he proves that it is all about riding skills and momentum, so good to see Ed Rendell up there on the Banks racing machine. Yeah, big lad, you know, often been criticised for maybe being too tall, came off 125s as well, so he's been in the paddock a long, long time. But number 2, Jake Archer. Well, Storm Stacey is another one. Storm Stacey is still young, but unfortunately he's stretched. You can see him. He's quite a gangly lad now. And being flexible is fine. If you can get tucked in, you can make it work for you. I'm sure the weight's not a problem, but when these bikes are small, it's so important to get tucked in. And Storm Stacey struggles more than others. Having a look around there, maybe he's confident. Well, Jake Archer, number 2 then on the city lifting. Ryan Saxelby, KTM. Looking good, he's out there in front, but the others already ganging up and going with him. Ed Rendell having a really good scrap now with Asher Durham. Jake Archer's got to be a championship favourite. He slugged it out last year with Tom Booth-Amos, and I guess on many races learned a lot. Tom Booth-Amos stood out, he was exceptional last year and drags everyone along, so Jake Archer is ready to fill his boots, and I'm sure ready to do a bit of winning himself. The absolute dominance by Tom Booth-Amos last year, 19 victories, only gave Jake Archer the opportunity to win 3, so there was only one other winner, and that was Elliot Lodge. Yeah. And the years before, another rider, Charlie Nesbitt, was the man. He was out there on the red line KTM machine. He dominated the championship, and like Tom Amos has been picked up and taken off to the Junior World Championship. Well, Asher Durham then with Jack Scott, number 55, breathing down his neck. And these are really, really, they've taken over the mantle of what used to be the 125 class of 5 or 6 years ago. MotoGP, of course, is the class on the world stage. We have MotoGP Grand Prix level bikes in this race, and we also, as Neil Mackenzie said, have the standard class with the NSF Hondas. Interesting, Jake Archer is the lap record holder here, 49.151 lap. And he's just broken his own lap record. He's just put in a 49.116. So Jake Archer obviously is the man at Brands Hatch Indy Circuit in the Moto3 class. They're doing about 130 miles an hour over the finish line. Taking a look. That's Victor Rodriguez, number 91, is the standard class leader, currently sitting in 14th place, the number 91 bike. And he was fastest out of the standard class in practice, and another member of the British Talent Cup, so final track time for him. The NSF 250 Honda, basically a modified 250 motocross engine, but that was close, wasn't it? There was a lot going on there. It is, and it's in what used to be the RS125 Honda chassis, so great little bike. They haven't developed that much over the years, but it's a perfect bike. It's reliable, cheap to run, do lots of miles on the engine, and teaches you the perfect small bike racing skills that serve you well as you make your way up through motorcycle racing.
Down in 11th place, young Jack Nixon, who finished runner-up in the KTM Cup last year, now running under Santander Salt colours in Roger Body's sidecar awning, as it were, alongside Steve Kershaw and Stuart Clark. So, young Jack Nixon, cousin to Ryan Dixon, brother to Ryan Dixon, and cousin to Jake Dixon. All very confusing.
Makes it very confusing. But Jake Dixon is always out there supporting the cause, and he'll be looking on. Jake Dixon, of course, the BSB winner last year, doing that double. Oh, no, got a follow at paddock.
Now that was somebody further down.
Eugene McManus, the Northern Ireland rider.
From Randallstown, now out of it, but up on his feet. So the KTM rider out
Fast
of the
crashed
running.
that. Oh, it looked like just a bit of a bobble. He was off the brakes there and just sort of trying to balance the bike, get back in the throttle. Front suspension just got a little bit out of control, and down he went. It's such a fine line. You're right on the edge of the tyre. A very fast crash, but great to see the Ulsterman is okay.
Yeah, indeed. Disappointing, though. Hugely disappointing, because these youngsters have so much adrenaline ahead of these races. Look at this scrap at the front. Asher Durham, Jack Scott in the middle, Ed Rendell. They are really... And there's Storm Stacey right on the back of these boys.
4 abreast going into Paddock Hill Bend on that lap.
Just in front, we have Jake Archer, number 2 now, who's got a 1.7 second lead.
Wow.
This is the battle. There's Asher Durham in second.
Durham, Kevin Schwantz style out of Druids there. He was leaning the bike down and with his body weight up, and it worked. A bit more motocrossy off-road type style. I don't know if he does a lot of that in his spare time, but it's certainly paid off that. Yeah, coming out of Druids there. Great to see that. Asher Durham will be loving this.
Weight transfer, of course, and by doing that, by putting the bike down and sitting up, you're actually putting more pressure on the tyres. You get a better adhesion.
Yeah, I think it was maybe just where he ended up. He was running wide, and he knew he couldn't hang off the inside of the bike, so he was pretty close to the white line and very wide. Not your regular. Here he is coming out of Druids, just in the background here. You see Asher Durham in front of that, which he actually lost the front a little bit. Started sliding, didn't back off the throttle, kept that weight on the front tyre, and it pulled it round. He didn't lose any places.
Fantastic. And they'd have seen that. That's Ed Rendell then. Ed Rendell in 3rd place, the number 12 Chelmsford rider. Ahead then of Jack Scott and Storm Stacey just sitting there. This battle for 2nd place. Asher Durham really knows he's got a race on his hands now. We are on lap 12 of 18, so 2/3 race distance. And this Hell British Motostar race developing into an absolute cracker. But 1.7 seconds up the road, Jake Archer, the race leader. I won't say he's had it comfortably. Once he got in front, now they're all having a go. Ed Rendell going underneath. Asher Durham, is he going to make it stick? Durham will come back inside. And the power to weight ratio for the youngster, he gets it back again up to Druids. He's not giving an inch. Storm Stacey coming through now. Right, the green and yellow Fireplace Warehouse. Oh, through he goes. Look at that.
Storm Stacey going a long way around there, but it worked. And Asher Durham at the front, you can see he's hanging off the left-hand side of the bike before he gets out that right-hander in preparation for the next left of Graham Hill Bend, but he has to be so careful because he's right in the limit and actually getting on the dirty part of the track on the exit of Druids, but he seems pretty comfortable. Ed Rendell, number 12, there's so much experience. He'll stay calm, he'll wait for his moment like a cat waiting to pounce.
Well, the pole position man has had a bit of a wake-up call, hasn't he? Jack Scott, number 55, at the back of your picture there, has got to do something about this, because from pole position to 5th in the race, not what he would have expected.
Not at all. Storm Stacey, number 79, grabbed another place. He's having a look up the inside, going into Druids. Asher Durham pulls across. Quite rightly, it's his line. Storm Stacey not quite late enough to get off his inside, but he's looking comfortable.
Victor Rodriguez on the leading standard bike up to 12th place now, the number 91 rider.
That's an amazing ride on a standard bike.
That is.
Because he's got a lot of Moto3 bikes behind him. Well, not a lot, but 1 or 2. And finishing in front of any Moto3 bikes is a major result.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's doing well. Victor Rodriguez then, number 91, in 12th place. Jack Nixon now in 10th. Then Liam Delves on the Dean Reynolds bike.
Well, look at this coming on back markers now, which is going to get interesting. Here we go into Druids. Looks like one of the standard class runners. Just in the wrong place at the wrong time for Storm Stacey.
Yeah, but Storm Stacey is just trying to weave around the outside. How quick do you want it? Swept round the outside. Didn't it? Jack Hart, the Renfrew, the Scotsman, number 20.
Yeah, Jack Hart, another member of the British Talent Cup squad, and
here they go
in his craft. So yeah, he did fine. He minded his own business.
Ed Rendell, you've got to take your hat to Ed Rendell, because we've seen him so many times running strongly at the front. Misfortune befalls him. Sometimes he drops it, sometimes he's broken down, but he's always in there fighting. Now Storm Stacey has gone underneath Ed Rendell, and we've still got more traffic ahead of us, and these guys have got to negotiate that. We are 2 and a bit laps to go here.
That's one of the standard class riders, Jacob Clark from Bromsgrove on the Wilson racing machine. Storm Stacey out of this whole bunch, I would say, is the guy that's looking the most comfortable, the most confident, but he has to do something with.
Yeah, he does.
Asher Durham. He's close enough now.
He's
16 laps of 18, so there's only 2-3 laps to go.
Storm Stacey up to third. Asher Durham holding on grimly to that second place. And that is the word, isn't it? He's fighting tooth and nail, knowing he's got the pressure on here.
He really is riding the wheels off that little Mahindra, but certainly working all these guys competitive. Ed Rendell's not out of this either yet.
Well, this will be an incredible result for young Asher Durham if he can bring it home in second place. But look at Ed Rendell. He's up for some last lap heroics, I can tell you. We're on the penultimate lap now, so about 3 miles of the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit to do for these boys. Neil, it's fair to say, for an opening race, we've had an absolute cracker.
It's great. Jake Asher at the front there, he's grabbing a couple of tenths a lap on these guys. He's really got his head down, he's got things together, he is the class act of the field. These guys are getting better every weekend. We'll see these guys progress, and I'm sure they'll give Jake Asher a hard time, if not this weekend, later in the season. But this three-way battle could go any way. Asher Durham hanging on grimly, as you said. Storm Stacey all over. Jake Archer and Ed Rendell with the experience, number 12.
Ed Rendell then going underneath Storm Stacey. Storm Stacey's got the raw deal there on a tail ender.
His tail ender's in the way though, which made it difficult.
Ed Rendell looking for a gap through the middle. He's got it. Storm Stacey's going to go around the outside of Druids on the back of Ed Rendell. And meanwhile, Asher Durham has just got the tiniest of breathing spaces, if we can call it that. He's just got to keep the momentum going now. Quick last word, Neil.
Yeah. Asher Durham's kept his cool, he's rode hard, he's rode well, he's kept sensible, dealt with the back markers perfectly, and he's going to get that second place.
This will be a fantastic result. Here we have then, this is for the final step on the podium. Ed Rendell, number 12. Storm Stacey, number 79. On the Fireplace Warehouse bike, here's the race leader. Over the line goes number 2, Jake Archer. Jake Archer gets victory then from half distance. That was never in doubt, barring some misfortune. But Asher Durham, runner-up spot, delighted the youngster, and Storm Stacey completing the podium. Ed Rendell did himself no harm at all with an absolutely fantastic ride. My thanks to Neil Mackenzie, always a delight, brilliant. And we've got it all to do again tomorrow. How about that? Brilliant stuff. Well, we have another race, of course, coming up later on. There's your standard cup winner, number 91, Victor Rodriguez, de España. Great race here in the sunshine, but no taking away from Jake Archer, the man from Andover in Hampshire on the city lifting Ryan Saxelby KTM. They can certainly put a race bike together. There it is then, the city lifting logo, a lovely stoppy race winner, Jake Archer. Brilliant stuff. And conditions, as Neil Mackenzie said, perfect for, they need corner speed. It's all about corner speed. They need the adhesion. They don't want to be pussyfooting around in the wet. Absolutely brilliant, brilliant race. Enjoyed that thoroughly. Confirmation then of Jake Archer's victory from Asher Durham on the Mahindra, the Indian brand. Storm Stacey, second of the 2 KTMs, and then Ed Rendell, Jack Scott, Elliot Lodge, Brandon Pash on the other or another of the Mahindras, ahead of Ed Best, Liam Dells on the Dean Reynolds bike, and Jack Nixon, top 10 for him. Good result for the 14-year-old. Chris Taylor on another Mahindra. There you have top standard by Victor Rodriguez on the Honda NSM from Lee Hindle, Max Cook, Horseman. Tom Strudwick, expected better from him, but he's still fighting. The S means standard. Fenton Seabright 17th. Grand Prix class stand.